All right, welcome. It's Jennifer Windsor from Access Holistic, and just waiting for some more people to pop online to play with for Soulmate Sunday. And possibly a heavy topic, emotional baggage, and what the heck can we do about it? So we're going to run approximately an hour today, and just looking for some people to play with about emotional baggage and what can you do to check and see whether you actually have any emotional baggage hanging around. And you know, is that something that you want to carry on with for the rest of your life? Do you want to keep that stuff, or do you just want to lighten up and go on with what it is that you would really love to do? Specifically, I tend to do coaching about love and relationships, all kinds of relationships, your relationships with a potential soulmate partner, your relationships with a spouse, your relationships with your children, and your parents, and then also relationships that that we have with our coworkers, with our staff, with our bosses, and how if we can smarten up one facet of those relationships, how the ripple effect just absolutely moves on for the rest of your life. My entree with Access Consciousness, I was watching a thing on the web where an Access Consciousness facilitator was presenting some of the tools of Access Consciousness, and I thought, wow, that's amazing. One of the things that she talked about was how 98% of our thoughts and our feelings don't even originate with us. They're actually not ours. And so we're just picking them up on the Wi-Fi, you know, our little internal antenna system. And so I thought, wow, that just rings so true for me that, you know, I tend to pick up on the thoughts and feelings and emotions of so many people out there, and that I was aware that I was able to do that. I was calling people before they actually called me on the regular. And so, you know, knowing that 98% of our thoughts and feelings and emotions don't even originate with us, what the heck do we do with it? And so that's one of the things that I learned from Access Consciousness, is that I can do something called Return to Sender, which we'll talk about probably shortly when we have a few more people to play with. And I went and had my bars run. Now, what are the bars? It's a hands-on energetic alignment. They're 32 points on your head, and when they're gently touched, what they do is they're able to dissipate any sort of anxiety that you've got building up in your body, any electromagnetic energy that you have built up. So it's a bit like, you know, your neurons are roads, and your thoughts and feelings and emotions and the things that you think you can't do and the things that you think you can do are like trucks and cars and motorcycles and bicycles on the road. And so if they're all built up, they become a traffic jam. And so when you're trying to move forward in your life, you don't necessarily have the ability to do so if there's just way too much stuff going on in your neurons. And so what I did was I went and had my bars run, and I didn't really think much of it. It was very relaxing. The practitioner was wonderful, and I ended up feeling better and sleeping better and having less tension in my body, and it was all related to having my bars run and being one of those kind of people who loves to know how things work from the inside out. I went ahead and had my bars practitioner, like I took my bars practitioner. And so I learned how to do the bars. And then the thing about the bars is once you keep doing them, the less traffic that you have going on in there, the more you're able to tap into your own knowingness about what is right for you. And so you're not necessarily paying attention to, you know, what's right for your culture, what's right for your country that you live in, what's right for your own family. You're able to drill down and say, okay, well, is this authentically correct for me? And so that's absolutely lovely. And yeah, so that's one of the things that happened. And another one of the things that happened was I had so many different opportunities come up for me. Originally, I was so stressed out at work, and I really didn't see a way of getting out of that stress. And so once I had my bars run and I continued to go get them run, these opportunities kept coming up for me, and it was almost like I couldn't see the opportunities before I had my bars run. And, you know, I mean, this isn't a commercial for having your bars run, but I'm just bringing it up for you to something. If you haven't had your bars run, it might be something you might want to try. So I noticed that we've got somebody on possibly to play with. Can you please introduce yourself and ask if you have any questions? I'd love to do some facilitation with you. So there's a chat bar. So you should be able to come into the group chat, and I'm going to see if I can see who it is that I'm playing with and if I can come and play with you. I'm not super great at Google Hangouts, so if you're patient with me, that would be amazing. I'm just learning. And one of the other tools that I learned from Access Consciousness that I love so much is to be able to just not worry about it. Who cares if I don't necessarily know what's going on? So I'm just going to put a little note here that says, oh, I'm just typing a little bit here to get people engaged. Hold on. Just one sec. I'm just going to type a little bit here. I think I do have the ability to pop somebody onto the screen, and I'm just trying to figure out how to do that. Hangout toolbox. So who's here? Who's here to play with? Let's find out. Hold on a second. Okay, so I'm just looking for the chat box here to see what we've got going on. Hold on. All right, so I just put a question there. So if you can hear me and you have any questions, just pop them in the chat box. And I'm just looking to see whether or not I can get some more people to come and jump in and play. And so while we're doing that, let's have a look here. Yeah, I thought it would have some more people popping up to play with right away. So maybe I've done something wrong, but if you have any questions, just put them in the chat box. So I was talking about how when I had my bars run, I all of a sudden started to notice that I had way more opportunities presented to me at work, way more opportunities presented to me in my personal life and in my family life. And I was able to figure that one out. Sorry, I'm getting pinged here. Sorry, I just keep getting pinged, and I just want to make sure that if you're here and you want to play, I'm sending you the right thing to come and play. So if you could just put something over in the chat box, which I think is on this side for you, and let me know if you have any questions and if you would like to participate. I had a bunch of different opportunities come to me, And so I kept saying yes. I had learned this meditation, or whatever you want to call it, a walking meditation of yes. And so one of the things that came to me was different opportunities for my work. I was working as a real estate manager at the time and had lots of work to do. I did enjoy my work, but found that the workload was quite stressful. And because I was stressed out, I tended to attract more things to be stressed out about. And yeah, it wasn't the best scenario for me. And so I kept asking, like, how does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? And things really did start to get better. And so that's the invitation, is you have your bars run and things really do get better for you. And so let's step into what the possible causes of your emotional baggage could be. And just looking for some feedback from you guys, or some questions about what the possibility is for playing. And yeah, just looking for some people to pop in and come and play. So let me just see if I can find somebody to play with. Hold on just one sec. All right, so we'll continue. So we're talking about possibilities for dumping off the emotional baggage for you. And so some of the things that come up are different points of view that people have pressed at you about, okay, well, you know, you're too demanding, or, you know, you're too quiet, or you never want to go out, or you always want to go out, or, you know, looking at these relationships that make you feel bad about yourself, and then you continue into another relationship. And if you haven't cleared out that emotional baggage, then sometimes it comes with you. And that's not a wrong thing. It's just about being aware of what comes through for you. And so what can we do about that? Well, one of the things we can say to ourselves is, okay, I'm having a feeling. It's not a really great feeling. And what is it? So there's a question. You can say, okay, well, I feel crappy right now. What is it? What is this about? And so just for example, somebody reminds you of someone who you dated before, you had a relationship with. And so they've come across as a client, or they've come across as another potential love interest for you. And there's just this thing, right? And you're like, okay, well, 90% of this is fabulous, but this other thing makes me feel crappy. And so you can ask yourself, okay, well, what is it? And wait. So you just wait for the response to come back. And so your awareness or your consciousness is going to show you what it is that you're waiting for. And so it's like, okay, well, then I get the awareness that, you know, in a previous relationship, this person made me feel bad for asking for things. You know, like if I asked for something, I was punished. Or if I asked for something, I was made to feel shitty. Or if I asked for something, I always never got it. Like I had to like magically wait or something like that. And so, okay, well, there we go. So that's the awareness. If I ask for something, I'm not going to get it. Or if I ask for something, somehow it's just not going to come for me. And so if we're bringing that forward into the present, then you can see how that messes up the present situation for you. So what can I do with it is the next question. So if it's like, okay, well, if I ask for stuff from a previous relationship and I'm noticing that there's some sort of a scenario that's still playing in the back of my mind, like an old program that's playing in the back of my mind that I'm afraid to ask for things in a relationship, then you ask yourself, okay, well, what can I do with this? And so you might get a, okay, well, nothing. I can't do anything with this. This is just not something that I want to keep around. And so the next question that you can ask yourself is, can I change it? So if this is an old program that's running in the back of your mind, and you ask yourself, can I change it? And you get a yes, well then I would recommend that you get some facilitation on that. And and then the furthest, I mean, it's just fine. Get some facilitation. Don't feel bad. You're running on an old program, and so that's fine. I mean, everybody has old programs that they're running on. And then the last one is, if I can change it, how do I change it? And so there's all sorts of different ways of changing it. There's so many different modalities out there. Access consciousness is one of the modalities that I've noticed works the best for me. It's the fastest. Like, I'm a massively impatient person, like crazy. And now I don't make it a wrongness about myself now. I'm kind of like, fine. I know I'm impatient. I also know that if I continue to have my bars run, I continue to get regular facilitation with access consciousness, the stuff that comes through for me, the stuff that I ask for, comes through so much faster and so much more amazingly dynamic than I ever thought possible. And so how does it get any better than that? Well, it can. I'm here to tell you it absolutely can. And so what else? What else? Let's look for some people to play with. Okay, hold on just one sec. Just looking for some more people who want to come and play with me. Oh, we're down to one again. Yeah, so another thing, I was just hoping that there'd be more people to play with today, but I guess not. It's a Sunday afternoon. And let me just see if I'm doing something wrong here. I sure hope that you can hear me and that you would like to continue to play. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, I'm still in chat here. I wonder why I can't see you. Strange. Not on chat. All right. Oh, there we go. So looking for some questions from the shy viewers. I see you guys out there. Yeah, I had an idea that it would be a little bit more interactive today, but perhaps you guys are listening while you're doing something. Anyways, just pop over here. Okay, cool. Here's a question. So what do I do when I have a complex history and I'm just out there dating? And, you know, I'd like to have disclosure with somebody, but what do I need to do? What do I need to know? How can I tell whether or not this person is the kind of person that I can give this kind of information to, or should I hold back? And yeah, just hold on a sec here. I'm going to answer. Yes, answering. So that's a really great question. So let's have a look at that. So if you're out there dating, my experience with the online dating community, and I'm not 100% sure if you're online dating, but even if you're out there and getting, you know, a few hits from different people that you know, like, hey, I want to set you up with my friend kind of thing, or if you're out there in the online dating community, then it's a bit of a feed fest of what I've noticed. Is that you are 100% in control of what's going on in your, sorry, I'm getting pinged by the person who would like me to answer the question. And sorry. Anyways, so what I was saying is that it tends to be a bit of a feed fest. And so you don't know, okay, which one of these people can I give this information to? And which one of these people can I not give this information to? And how much of this information is vital? Like, how are you defining yourself by your complexity of your past? I mean, just thinking of myself. I remember doing online dating and thinking, okay, well, I need full disclosure from the people that I'm dating. And then I also need to provide full disclosure to the people that I'm dating. And I didn't actually have that information about access consciousness before that. So one of the things that I would love for you to ask yourself going into the dating situation is, one, what can this person receive? And so you will get an awareness of what the person is able to receive. And two, can go, what made so vital about this person doing absolutely everything about me? And you're going to have an awareness, because it isn't necessarily true that people can't love you if they don't know absolutely everything about you. And so we all have complex pasts. I mean, my goodness, you know, just thinking about how many lifetimes I've lived in one lifetime. You know, if somebody needed to know absolutely everything about me, I kind of wonder why. And do I absolutely need to know everything about my partner or somebody that I'm thinking about inviting in my life? Maybe not. And so that's a question for you. You know, what have you made so vital about knowing absolutely everything about your partner, or them knowing absolutely everything about you? So I'm going to call that full disclosure. So what have you made so vital about full disclosure in a relationship, you know, such that it causes you to feel uncomfortable about the information transfer? And everything that brings up, can we destroy and uncreate it? So when I'm asking you to destroy and uncreate something, what I'm asking you to do is to just allow that to go away, like as if it never existed. And so if you can destroy and uncreate something, you can build something from the rubble. I've had people ask me, well, what does that mean? Even if I have something beautiful, why are you asking me to destroy and uncreate it? Well, I'm asking you to destroy and uncreate that aspect of your creation, so that you can go back in and create something better. It's almost like taking pottery and squishing it back down again and making it into something else, and then taking it back down again and making it into something else. The universe wants you to be happy. For want of a better word, the universe is an amazing collie dog. Like, you know, those hyper border collie dogs. So all you need to do is continue to play fetch with the universe. The universe wants to play with you. And so when you're out there dating, if you can imagine meeting somebody who wants to play with you on a level playing field, a 50-50 playing field, so you don't have to be anybody that you're not. And it's perfect for you to show up as your authentic self. But what if you are giving them too much information? Like, what if traumatic stuff's happened in your life and they're like, wow, I'm just getting to know you, and now I'm learning all of this traumatic stuff and it makes me scared. And it makes me feel sorry for you. And it makes me not understand that you are an infinite being anymore. And because the people that you're going to meet out there may not necessarily be spiritually inclined, they might not necessarily have the understanding of what an infinite being is all about. And so if you don't, let me give you a little pep talk. So inside you, there's a being that's an infinite being. And so that infinite being is able to be, know, perceive, receive everything about you without judgment. And so, you know, I mean, if you've done something bad, like really bad, your infinite being probably knows more about that situation than you're willing to be, know, perceive, and receive. So that being is there, and you can ask that being, okay, cool, infinite being, if I was being an infinite being, what would I do? And in a situation for dating, getting to know people's cool, and it's important to get to know people in a way that they're able to receive. And so, you know, we've all watched that How to Lose a Guy in 10 Dates. And if you haven't, it's an awesome movie. It's actually probably a primer on how to get people to know you and what not to do in a dating situation in a fun way. But, you know, dumping all of your trauma and drama on somebody's doorstep and not giving them the ability to sort through it with you and receive it in a way that they can receive it is probably not a kindness to them. And so when you're meeting people, if you're an authentically kind person, would you go ahead and do that? Would you give them all of your complex history? Like, say, just for example, you've got a complex medical history where you've had cancer, or where you've had, you know, a supposed terminal illness, and you've gone through it and made yourself better, and you're continuing to heal yourself physically. You disclose that on the first date? Well, you can, but you can also ask yourself, okay, what can this person receive? Is this appropriate? Is this first date material? And your body's going to tell you yes or no. And then if you honor that knowing, then, and keep asking questions always, and honor the knowing of the questions and say, okay, cool. Well, I'm not going to have any judgment about this person not being able to receive me at the moment. They're just trying to find out whether or not we have any common ground, whether or not we have any chemistry, whether or not we can talk about the same things and really enjoy each other, whether or not we laugh about the same things, whether or not we have the same values. It's just absolutely amazing what you can get from your body. And yeah, even hey body, is this person a contribution to my life? Hey body, am I a contribution to this person's life? You're gonna get so much awareness out there. It's just absolutely amazing. So if you can find the chat box, start chatting. I see we've got some viewers out there, but you guys are just so shy. I haven't seen anything from any of you. I have one person playing, so come on, come and play. So let's go back to a complex dating history, or not necessarily a complex dating history. Let's say, well, actually, wait a minute, I'm kind of downloading that as well. So just for example, say you've been married more than once. You know, say you've had children. Say you've had, you were going to have children and you lost a baby. Say you've moved from a different country. Say all of those amazing things. You know, what of this is this person able to receive from me? And will this person be a contribution? So Gary Douglas, who's the founder of Access Consciousness. Oh, I see somebody asking for the chat box. Let's see. So the chat box should be that way. You should be able to see an icon for the chat box on that side, I believe. So if you click around, you should be able to find a chat box somewhere. And let me keep asking, can you see me now? All right, so where was I? Where was I? Yeah, so say you have a complex history with regards to the people that you've chosen as your partners. So say you've been married more than once. How much information can you disclose to someone is only relevant if you've asked that question. Okay, well, what are they willing to receive about me? And then be willing to open yourself up to the knowledge about what people are willing to receive. And, you know, just for example, when my partner and I, Tom, got together, he's a very quiet guy. And so I actually had that information at that time. You know, what is he willing to receive? What is he willing to talk about? Because sometimes what happens is when you're willing to disclose everything about your relationship because you've gone ahead and done some emotional work, then what? You know, the person that you're dating may not have done that emotional work, or they may not be willing to disclose as much as you were willing to disclose. And it was a bit it was a bit disconcerting because I had done a bunch of work and Tom had done some work and was definitely aware of what it was that would work for him in a relationship and what it was that wouldn't work for him in a relationship. And he had gone through that point. And probably he had, what did he have? What am I looking for here? He probably had a lot more judgment of how his relationship went and how it should have gone. All of those sort of shoulda, coulda, wouldas about his relationship. And so when you're dating somebody, to keep in mind if the information that you're disclosing actually is causing them to feel uncomfortable in a way that they should have given the information to you. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, I've been married and I've been divorced and, you know, this happened to me and that happened to me. And the other person's looking at you like deer in the headlights, like, oh, I kind of don't want to talk about that kind of information. And so before you actually bring up that topic, you know, instead of having like, you know, being so effusive, like just check and see, okay, cool, you know, what is it that we're talking about here? And what information am I disclosing? And is that person able to disclose that information to me? And sorry, I'm just getting a little bit of a download here. Just one sec. So what is that? Yeah, okay, that one feels a little bit finished. Okay, so another one that someone's asking here is, you know, what if I'm dating somebody who reminds me of someone from my past? Well, that's a good one because we do end up having chemistry with people. And for example, you have a frequency that you're sending out into the universe that is picked up from people, you know, picked up out on the airwaves. How does that work? Oh, so I'm just downloading, just one second. Like we tend to attract the same type of people. And, you know, if you want to make that a wrongness, you can go ahead and make that a wrongness. But if you would like to get rid of that, let's just do some clearing. So what stupidity am I using to create the relationships that I'm choosing? Now, a stupidity isn't something where you're being dumb. A stupidity is somewhere where you're deliberately making yourself unaware. So you can ask yourself, okay, what stupidity am I using to create the relationships that I'm choosing? And everything that brings up, let's just destroy and uncreate it. And then the access consciousness clearing statement, which is right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all 9, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so if you haven't heard those words before, the clearing statement is basically the universal eraser. It allows you to destroy and uncreate, and then it also takes away the residue of what it was that was happening for you. So good and bad, right and wrong, pod and poc, all 9, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so if you're looking for more information about that, you can go to theclearingstatement.com. theclearingstatement.com, and there's a big long video there, a whole 11 minutes about the clearing statement, and that's facilitated by Dr. Dane Here, who's one of the co-founders of Access Consciousness, and he is just an amazing human being, absolutely amazing. So I recommend that you check that out, theclearingstatement.com. And so anything and everything that brings up for you, can we now just destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so what stupidity am I using to create the relationships I'm choosing? And so you can also say, isn't that cute of me? I tend to attract the same people over and over. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm not judging myself. I'm like, what stupidity am I using to create the skipping record relationships I am choosing? So it's like, here I go again, here I go again, here I go again. So what stupidity I'm using to create the skipping record relationships I am choosing? And everything that is, let's just destroy and uncreate it. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so the clearing statement, there's no way to say it wrong. Basically, the universe will know what you're up to. So if you don't necessarily say the clearing statement right, the good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. In fact, you can just say pot and pock all that. Pot and pock everything that's bringing up for me. Pot and pock everything that's not bringing up for me. And if there's something underneath it that I'm absolutely forgetting to ask, I'm just potting and pocking that too. And so I don't have to clear you, you clear you. And so it can happen that I'm facilitating you and I'm helping you to clear yourself. So I'm not the guru, I'm the person with the information that you require right now. And as we know, the information age is so over. You can Google absolutely everything. And you're sitting here on a free Google Hangout with me, and I'm offering you some insights into love and relationships. And so I don't have anything that you don't have other than a tiny bit of information that I've gotten from Access Consciousness. So let's go back in, and I'm just going to pop in and look and see who else has got a question. Okay, cool. All right. So again, let's just go back to dating somebody who reminds you of someone else. So another tool that you can use when you're dating somebody that's reminding you of somebody else and causing you to have a little bit of a triggery feeling about that. So one of the things that I recommend that I learned from Access Consciousness is to destroy and uncreate all my relationships with people on a daily. So especially the relationships with people that you are sort of feel like a cosmic tie to them. Oh my God, please destroy and uncreate all that. And so everything that makes you feel like you have a cosmic tie to them, everything that you've made vital about that relationship, everything that you're worried about that relationship about, let's just destroy and uncreate that. And also any oaths, vows, swearings, fealties, communities, commitments, and contracts that you've made to that person throughout all space and time. So when you think about it, like we marry people and we say till death do us part. But do we really die, or do we just get a new body? Oh, darn it. So like I'm total polygamist. How many men and women have I been married to? Over all space, times, dimensions, and realities. And so like bring up the energy of all of those people that you've been married to and you've made a till death do us part contract with them. Well then, And so what you can do, and you say any oaths, vows, swearings, fealties, commitments, and contracts that I've made to any lover, any spouse, any husband or wife, past, present, and future, I now destroy and uncreate them. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, boys, shorts, and beyonds. Or you can say pot and pock everywhere I have a relationship with you, past, present, and future. And so what happens, you know, from a cosmic standpoint, some people may have heard of energetic ties. And so when I think about them as little plugs. And so everywhere I have a relationship with somebody, I'm like sticking a little plug into them. And everywhere they have a relationship with me, they're sticking a little energetic plug into me. And so by destroying and uncreating the relationships, then what happens is I'm ripping out the plugs out of my body. And then anywhere I have an energetic plug and it's plugged into you, I'm ripping out that plug as well. And so what happens is energetically that creates a vacuum. And so it actually creates a better ability to have a better relationship with your family, with your spouse, with your lover, with the people that you work with your clients, with your boss, with your staff. Like, it's unbelievable. If you go down a list of people that you're pretty sure you have an energetic tie with, and you just say, okay, well, that person. Just for example, I could say, oh, well, anywhere, past, present, and future, I have a relationship with Tom. I now destroy and uncreate it. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all 9, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so, you know, I mean, you pick your friends, you pick your family. Well, some people think you don't pick your family, but you do. And so I would highly recommend that you destroy and uncreate your relationships with everybody on the regular. And what happens also from an energetic standpoint is if I'm destroying and uncreating my relationship with Tom, then what happens is I get to say, okay, well, everything that was, everywhere I was like a total monster. And I probably shouldn't have said stuff like that. I probably shouldn't have done stuff like that. I don't get to judge myself anymore. And so how many of us have done stuff that wasn't super cool in a relationship with somebody that we absolutely loved? And then what happens is if you don't destroy and uncreate the relationship, then that stuff carries forward. And then you have that sort of crappy feeling in your belly about stuff that you said or did in the past. Well, then you can take it on in the future with that relationship, or you can just dump it off and say, okay, that wasn't my brightest moment. Let's just destroy and uncreate that and pot and pock that. And I'm going to make a new choice now. And the new choice is to be authentic and, you know, perhaps apologize to my spouse and say that wasn't the brightest moment. Or apologize to myself and say, okay, well, that wasn't the brightest moment. And everything that brings up, I destroy and uncreate it. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all 9, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so I would recommend that if somebody's reminding you of somebody and you're like, okay, well, I have no reason to believe that this person will behave the way that that person will behave. But you can also ask, right? You can say, okay, this person is reminding me of that person. What do I need to know? And just wait for an awareness, and your body or your energetic field or your consciousness will bring something. Or if you really think, okay, this person is even more reminding me, then you can say to yourself, okay, cool. So what do I need to know? And anything and everything that doesn't allow that to show up for me in a way that I can receive, so that I can have an awareness about what it is that I need to know about this relationship. And so everything that brings up, let's just destroy and uncreate it. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all 9, boys, shorts, and beyonds. Okay, so I'm going to pop back into the chat box and see if there's anything else we need to play with. This is fun. Thank you. Cool. Great question. Great question. So if you've been hurt before, how do you even get the confidence to go back out and date? Oh, Lordy. How do you even have the confidence? Well, one thing you can do is you can just say, okay, well, what is it about a relationship that I would desire? And so these are some things that we cover off in my course that I'm teaching called Conscious Coupling. Because you actually have to go back in time a little bit and have a look at what it is that you had in a relationship that you super enjoyed. So do you like reading the paper in bed with somebody? You know, do you like sitting on the couch and watching a movie with somebody? Do you like going out hiking with somebody? Do you like to go to the beach with somebody? Do you like somebody who likes to go to the movies with you? Do you like to go out horseback riding with someone? Do you like to go bicycling with somebody? Do you know how to rollerblade? Would you love somebody who would like to go rollerblading with you? Are you a cook? Do you love to cook for somebody? Or do you like to eat? Do you love somebody who would cook for you? Do you love it when somebody's arms are wrapped around you? Or do you love, like, what is it that you love? And start from there. That is absolutely the best place to start from. Have a look at everything that you love about being in a relationship with somebody and that you hope to experience again. And so if you're going from the standpoint of, oh, I don't want this or I don't want that, well, energetically, you know that what we say we don't want, the universe has no clue. They don't even look at that word. The universe doesn't know I don't want. So when you're looking at stuff, I would prefer it if you said, I love it. I love it when someone cooks for me. I love it when we go horseback riding together. I love it when we go to the beach. I love it when we go swimming. I love it when we travel. I love it when I'm surprised. What else do I love? Like, I'm so in touch with what I love. And being in a relationship, this is a beautiful thing to take forward, to be aware of, like creating things on the daily that you absolutely love to do with your partner. So instead of having a, you know, if you put out the trash, I'll do the dishes. Well, that's not exciting. I'm sorry. People who love doing the dishes are far and few between. And if you do love doing the dishes, please contact me because I need to know who you are. And create more of that in your life. More things that you love doing together and that you decide that you need to experience on the regular, the more likely you are to invite someone into your life who loves doing the same things that you love to do, and then they love the frequency that you're at because you're choosing that. So before Tom and I got together, you know, this is some of the stuff that I'm going to be teaching in my conscious coupling course. Before Tom and I got together, I decided that I wasn't going to wait. I was so fucking done waiting, pardon my French, but I was done. I had been waiting for people to take me out places and have fun with me. And so I was tired of that. I was like, I'm going to take me out places and have fun with me. And so I used to go on the regular on Wednesday nights. I would take myself out for a beautiful dinner, like a date dinner, like beautiful food. I would have wine. And just like relax. I would get there early. I would stay late. And then after that, I had a meditation class that I love to go to. And so instead of waiting for somebody to invite me to a meditation class, instead of waiting for somebody to invite me out for dinner, I would just do that. And then as it happens, I had a friend that started joining me going out for dinner. And we would go to the meditation class together. And actually, I had a few different friends that I would do that with. And so that's something else that I recommend, is that you start going out and doing things with your friends that you would normally wait for somebody to take you out to do. And so you end up having the company, and you end up having the frequency of the joy and the honoring of you. And so the person that will reach you on that frequency, so that frequency is a little bit like a TV channel. And so they're going to turn to your TV channel, and they're going to continue to tune into that TV channel until they actually meet you. And if you continue to keep your frequency nice and high, the type of person that you're going to meet, even if you're afraid to meet someone, is going to be a higher quality person than if you have a list of things that you don't want. Like, I don't want a deadbeat dad, or I don't want somebody who's unemployed, or I don't want somebody who looks like this, or I don't want somebody who talks like that. Those don't lists, oh my God. Like, please just don't. Start having a love list. Absolutely things that you love to do, and then get your butt out and do them. Absolutely do them. And if you need somebody to kick your butt, you're looking at her. I will absolutely make sure that you get out there and do the things that you love to do. So check in and see if that's something that would work for you. What else? Let me just go into the chat and see if there's something else to play with. Just one second. So So here's another question. So what if you haven't dated for 10 years? And how do you even get started with that? So beyond writing a list of things that you love, another list that you could write, you know, metaphorically or actually write it down. I'm more of a tactile person, so I actually do write these things down. But if you're more of an energetic person, then start writing a list of things like that you absolutely can do. And also start writing a list of things that you would really like to do. And so if there's a list of things that you would absolutely like to do with regards to dating, so if, for example, you would like to go out horseback riding on a date, then there may be a possibility for you to be able to do that. And so by negating, saying, oh, well, you know, nobody's going to want to take me out horseback riding. Or just for example, actually, this brings up something for me. I had an interesting point of view. Now, this is a tool of Access Consciousness. Is any point of view is simply an interesting point of view. And it isn't necessarily true. So just for example, this was the interesting point of view, and I'll tell you why it's an interesting point of view. So I had an interesting point of view that I would never meet somebody who wanted to go to the theater. Like it would have to be like either my BFF or some, you know, like gay BFF. I never ever meet somebody that would like to go to the theater with me. And so I had done some training with Access Consciousness. And I learned that if I asked for something, the universal call dog of consciousness could actually bring it back for me. And so one of the things that I asked for was somebody who liked to go out and do things like the theater. And I also asked for somebody who would like to go dancing. And so previously I had had boyfriends who said, oh yes, I like to go dancing. And so their idea of going out dancing was like going out dancing once and say, okay, cool. Yeah, we did that. Okay, I took you out dancing and now I'm done. And what happened for me when I made my list of things that I absolutely love to do, and I set that out as an intention to the universe, I also made a video for myself. So instead of like a vision board, I made a video. And some of the things in the video were things that were absolutely have-to-haves for me. And some of the things in the video were, you know, like-to-haves or would love-to-haves. And some of the things in the video were like fantasy items, like, okay, cool, like world travel. And I'd love somebody who would like to ballroom dance with me. And so one of the things that came across and how I knew that Tom was a potential soulmate partner for me was on our first date. He said to me, oh, I like to dance. And so I was thinking, oh yeah, right, nice. You mean like take me out once dancing and then you'll never do it again. And so I was like, kind of smiled and I said, oh, okay, well, what kind of dancing? Like salsa? And he was like, oh yeah, salsa and like ballroom. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? You actually ballroom dance? And he laughed, and so that was a super cool thing. And I had put that in my video. That was something that I had asked of the universe, that somebody would like to go dancing. And so Tom and I do that. We go ballroom dancing together. We don't compete, but we, you know, have gone to some events. We've gone to some parties, and we take ballroom dancing lessons together. Yeah, on the regular. Not so much during the summer because Tom plays baseball, of which is the only sport that I actually know how to do, that I actually enjoy watching, and he happens to play it at a ballpark where I can sit and have a beer. It's like freaking fabulous. And so if you keep asking the universe for things, the universe would love to give them to you. And that's one thing that I would love to get across today, is that the universe would absolutely love to gift to you what it is that you're looking for. And when you stop looking for it and you start experiencing it instead, what happens is with the intent, you say, okay, well, I would love to do this with a partner. I would love to do this with a partner. And no matter what it is, like I do see a chat down here where somebody's saying, okay, well, these things that I'd love to do are mostly just things that I would do with my girlfriend. And you need to ask yourself, or I would recommend that you ask yourself, truth, are these only things that you could do with a girlfriend? So what's coming up for me is like a pedicure. Well, Tom's actually gone and got a pedicure with me. And I'm just like, oh my God, sweetie, you are like metrosexual in the best way possible. And so what I would recommend, I can see we're getting a little close for time. So what I would recommend, and this is something that I recommend in my course that I'm teaching, I'm going to give you some of the first class that I recommend for people, is make a list of maybe a dozen, or maybe, no, more than that, say 2 dozen to 3 dozen things that you absolutely love doing, and like without judgment, like no judgment, like will somebody want to do this with me? Will somebody not want to do this with me? Will I do this with a partner? Will I do this alone? These are just things that bring you joy. Just for example, I love to sing at the top of my lungs in the car. I crank the freaking music and I sing. I love it. And both Tom and my dog just absolutely love it when I sing in the car. And so that wasn't something that that I particularly imagined that somebody would love that I sing in the car or that I sing in the house or where else, but I put it in my video. And so let's talk about that just for a second. So we need 3 dozen things that you absolutely love to do. And then I would do a positive statement for each of them. Like just for example, my soulmate partner loves it when I sing and can't get enough of it. Or just for example, my soulmate partner loves to dance with me and looks for occasions to take me out dancing. Or like the absolute have-to-haves. Like for me, I'm like the hygiene queen. My soulmate partner has impeccable hygiene and brushes his teeth a couple times a day, or, you know, has sparkling white teeth or something like that, because I'm a bit of a teeth person. And, you know, just think about that for yourself. I do custom videos, so if you're interested in that, you can definitely contact me. But you can also do a video up for yourself. I made mine on Windows Media Maker, Windows Movie Maker, and then the Apple version, iMovie or whatever, is dead easy to work with. So you could totally make a moving video for yourself. The science behind the video is fascinating. So if you have words, pictures, and music, and that evoke an emotion in you, and the emotion that I would love for you to sort of channel with me is sort of an anticipatory, like something that makes you feel sexy, like you're waiting for your man or you're waiting for your woman. You know, the idea of like getting ready for a date, the idea of getting dressed up, if that appeals to you, or the idea of, you know, getting to like fly down the highway with the wind in your hair, that kind of an anticipation feeling. Find a piece of music that makes you feel like that. Find pictures that make you feel like that. And use it with these statements. And so I just pepper them through. I tend to have a bit of an intuitive process with the people that I'm working with. I'm going to make you a board. If you're going to make yourself a video, or if you're going to make yourself a board, I would recommend that you actually listen to music while you're looking at your board. And that's the science behind it, is that actually goes straight into the back of your brain without crossing your prefrontal cortex. It just goes zing right in there. So there's no rational thought there. And so it's the same science behind watching what your kids watch on TV, not too much violence, you know, not too much overt sexuality, that kind of thing. for children, but for adults, you can use the actual same technology to get in there and have your resonance change. And so your resonance is changing to that of love. Your resonance is changing to that of anticipation, and your resonance is changing to that of joy. And so everything that doesn't allow you to change your resonance to love, anticipation, and joy, can we please just destroy and uncreate that? Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all 9, boys, shorts, and beyonds. And so again, if you popped on later, my name is Jennifer Windsor. I can be reached on Facebook at Jennifer Kramer Windsor. My website is accessholistic.com, ACCESS, holistic, HOLISTIC.com. And my conscious coupling is bit.ly/CC class, so CCCLASS, if you're interested in my conscious coupling course. I'm also doing a webinar tomorrow night. If you get in contact with me on Facebook, I'll give you the link for the webinar. And again, we're talking about releasing emotional baggage. There's going to be a little bit more concrete tools and a bit of facilitation, but a lot more curriculum on that webinar. So I'd love to talk to you about that, and yeah, get a hold of me. The webinar is at 4 o'clock on tomorrow, so 4 o'clock on Monday Pacific time. And if you get a hold of me on Facebook, at Jennifer Kramer Windsor on Facebook. And I'd love to talk to you. Take care, and thank you so much for participating. And how does it get any better than this?